Game, love, parody, CinemaSins, what? More like Ratchet or Clank, am I right? Am I right? This game was originally pitched as Ratchet and Clank Clock Blockers. I don't know whether to be impressed or not.
Have I ever told you about my son?
No, Mario, you haven't. Please do tell. Also, narration.
My son's name is XJ0461, but the universe knows him as Clank.
So is it XJ0461 or B5429671? At least the first one's easier to pronounce, but, you know, come on, make your mind up. Oh fuck, my boy Nefarious is back. Reset that sync counter to motherfucking 0. I don't give a flying shit.
Hypersonic Brainwave Scrambler!
The extremely powerful energy beings known as Zoni are defeated by the world's most annoying boombox.
Backup generator activated.
He's awake!
Clank has learned the magic of off-screen teleportation. Opening the game with a Clank level, eh? Ballsy move, Insomniac.
I'll explain everything as soon as you're safe, sir. But right now, we need to calibrate your ocular response processes.
Nolan North isn't being a ludonarrative dissonant treasure hunter in this scene. Ever notice how Clank's jump changes randomly between games? Before this he could only glide, but now he can propel himself further into the air, and in the reboot he can double jump. Just pick one already. Character isn't looking where they're going and almost steps right off a ledge cliche.
Go ahead! Jump!
Ratchet and Clank apparently encourages suicide.
Space. It's huge. So huge, in fact, that if you lost your car keys in it, they would be almost impossible to find.
Not that you would lose car keys in space in the first place, seeing as driving a car in space is practically impossible. Quark doesn't look like a talking pile of silly putty anymore, so that's nice, I guess.
Just keep your eyes peeled. Talon says this sector's crawling with mercenaries.
It's not a Ratchet and Clank game without completely ditching the love interest from the previous game. And it's not a Ratchet and Clank game without surviving some sort of high-velocity spaceship accident. I know they were saved by a time anomaly, but they still technically survived, so...
Just wait here. I'll find you another way across.
What, you can't just jump? Because you sure couldn't all for one. Insomniac added a new type of bolt crank so that you wouldn't just be holding the left stick in a single direction anymore.
Concerned for his compatriot's well-being, Captain Quark's noble sidekick ninja leaps from stone to stone. Below him, 6 deadly inches of crystal blue water.
I think I'm getting Ratchet and Clank PS4 flashbacks.
Move around, Chief. You got a right to protect yourself.
Spoken like a true American. One of the features I was sad to not see return in newer games was the ability to paint weapons and customize them with several different parts. I hope they at least bring back the ability to paint weapons in a future game. That was really neat.
The Xiphoids are back. There must be something wrong with the Timekeeper.
Not in front of the outsiders.
Yeah, just wait until we get inside. Then we'll tell them all our deepest, darkest secrets.
That rebel must be making trouble again. We have to move everyone into the village.
Ah, vocal tics, the most endearing of character traits. Looking at you, world of Final Fantasy. Let's hide our bolts in these plants. Random kleptomaniac lombaxes will never think to look there. I never understood the decision to introduce dialogue trees from Tools of Destruction onwards. They add nothing, aside from expelling additional lore that could have been dropped naturally through cutscenes.
Operation Red Shirt is a go.
Red Shirt would imply that Ratchet's sole purpose is to be killed by the story's villain or some random monster in place of the main character. Quark surely knows at this point that he's not at all capable of eliminating a galactic threat, so wishing death upon Ratchet is a little foolhardy.
Key to surviving situations like this is to avoid phrases like, "It's too quiet in here," or "Everything's going to be alright."
Quark proves, yet again, he would be good at gaming sins. These lasers manage to instantaneously ignite a perfect circumference of ground around them. Why not just capture Ratchet as well instead of leaving him to come after you? The frog shotgun's pretty neat, I guess. Shame it gets outclassed by the Constructo shotgun very quickly though.
This is the last shred of technology in the entire village. I was always meaning to dismantle it, but now I'm glad I didn't.
Surprisingly, Senor Plot Convenience is nowhere in sight. What is this? These ship sections are probably my favorite out of all of the games, mostly because they're short and placing it on a 2D plane makes combat a lot more simplistic and easier to follow. I wish there was more music. No disrespect to Boris Salchow, the composer, some of the music here is great, but there are too many sections that feel empty simply because there's either no music, like here, but also because David David Berger's music always fit the games better and were generally more memorable.
Prepare to be killed by Wait for it. Lord Porcelain!
3,000 years into the future, and Neil Patrick Harris is still a pop culture legend.
I should have killed you back on Lumos!
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Porcelain's actually kinda challenging. When he turns invisible, you have to look around and try to hear where his evil scuttling is coming from, and if you don't judge correctly, dodging his melee attack is pretty difficult. Really good boss battle, I reckon. As if his head wouldn't have been crushed, we interrupt this video game to bring you Super Mario Galaxy. You know what Ratchet and Clank needs? Side quests! Said no one ever. Ever notice how wildly inaccurate the Constructo pistol is, especially on these little challenge moons? Frankly, it's kind of annoying. One day Insomniac will make a good pistol weapon again. One thing that is cool though is the radio. I'd assume that most people end up listening to pirate radio, and they're right to do so. Some of the songs sound like royalty-free instrumental covers, but some songs actually sound surprisingly good. Discount Joe Satriani.
Trouble with your Mr. Zircon? Bring him in for a free consult with one of our experienced techs.
A Mr. Zircon Synthenoid doesn't seem like the kind of thing that needs maintenance. They just end up self-destructing anyway. Haha, funny, but why would Sigmund be holding onto a banana anyway, apart from a silly sight gag? Clank level. Yeah, bet you weren't expecting that, were you? I don't know what the general consensus on Clank levels in A Crack in Time are, but the time pad puzzles here are some of the best segments of not only Clank levels, but the entire series. I would love a game devoted to these time puzzles, to be honest. Minus 5 cents, why not?
I do not understand. Have I been here before?
You didn't think your soul came from a robot factory, did you?
Robots have souls? Well, that explains the robotic zombie space pirate ghosts. It only took 7 years, but Clank finally gets his own weapon. And no, the begammed doesn't count, nor does the fever dream that is Secret Agent Clank.
A good caretaker protects the equipment at all costs.
Yes, but what does the equipment do?
All in good time, my son.
All in good time, my son. You'll find out when the plot allows for it.
Well done. You certainly cleaned their clocks.
Whoa! Even Orvis had trouble with that one once.
Then maybe Orvis isn't all he's cracked up to be. That puzzle was easy as fuck, boy. All these bolts are somehow being transferred to Ratchet despite the fact that they are God knows how many light years or parsecs apart.
There is one small matter.
I don't have the capacity for love, Janice. I was cursed by a tribe of gypsy ninjas when I was a kid.
I know, Lamb. I was in that tribe of gypsy ninjas.
Porcelain's first name is Flint? Get out of here. Get the fuck off this planet.
It is said he arrived on a ball of fire. A comet, perhaps?
Are people in this universe just given a choice as to whether they want to die in a fiery crash or not?
I apologize for the ruse, but we like to keep our operation away from the prying eyes of galactic authorities.
Oh no, they drag Colonel Campbell into this too? Being a battery bot must be a horrifying existence. Your only purpose in life is to be crammed into a socket to power miscellaneous machines, and you don't even get a union. Truly terrifying. While the Dynamo of Doom is actually pretty good in terms of damage output, it's still a motion-controlled weapon, so no. These buzzsaws are so blunt they barely leave a dent in this girder. Ratchet had enough time to make a silly face, say uh-oh in not slow motion, and deflect the bomb with his wrench.
Wait, I thought my father was the only one to stay behind when the Lombaxes left.
You fucking son of a... No, forget it, Val. It's not worth it.
Ah! I see you found the accelerator!
Alistair says before a well-timed button prompt confirms what you already know. The expected reaction when sinking into a giant ball of fire.
Come back to vandalize more equipment?
Mind your manners. Any super-intelligent being can see that this is a different Lombax.
Zoidberg would be good at gaming sins.
We're clear. I think that's all.
Auxiliary units to main server room.
Okay, I really need to stop doing that.
Unfunniest line in the game, and that includes the dialogue that's not supposed to be funny. Alistair's death is funnier than this.
I'll get this one.
Why can't I do that?
If you intend to manhandle me, I'll have you know I
I am a level 60 wizard with melee ability.
Ain't no wizard with melee ability gonna scare me. Get the fuck off this planet.
Attention, VX-99 detected. Evacuate all stations.
None of these Terrachnoid hear the evacuation notice and are presumed to die an oblivious death. How many Lombaxes does it take to destroy a light bulb?
Just so you know, I'm sorry you had to go so long without another Lombax to talk to. If I'd known you were alive, I would have come for you.
Ratchet's pretty famous at this point, having saved the world/galaxy/whatever keeps you fuckos happy several times. You can't not have known about it.
I'm bringing in specialists! Cassiopeia!
Well, hello there.
Discount Courtney Gears.
Karina!
Bonjour.
And Libra.
Hey, how you doing?
True facts, the first time I saw that, I spat coke all over the TV screen. Good joke, that. Clank level.
You should try one of the challenges I programmed into your subconscious.
I misinterpreted that as, I programmed you with a mental handicap, have fun. In reality, these subconscious challenges are actually extremely difficult timepad challenges. I want to send these, but I just can't bring myself to do it, I'm sorry. They're brilliant. Frustrating, but brilliant. 3,000 years into the future, and portrait orientation is still a thing.
Eons ago, our kind entrusted the Fongoids with a special gift. The gift of time travel.
There's your first mistake. Trusting a generally derpy race with such an unstable power such as frigging time travel.
Where is the real Orbis?
I told you. It's a secret.
Is he dead? I bet he's dead, isn't he? The only thing that brings down Clank levels in this game are the time repair sections, which are just kinda dull, in my opinion. You've got all these bits and bobs floating around on the planet. What do they represent? Are they representations of giant power-up icons that are actually hovering above the planet's surface in real life? Has everybody been crushed to death?
I will be traveling to the Tombly outpost on Xanathar and will not be back until morning. A fellow scientist has requested an audience with me, and etiquette dictates I comply.
Don't go, sir.
Mind the clock while I'm gone. Wind the time cleaners and, Sigmund, let's just keep this our little secret.
Oh, that's kinda sad, actually. Sigmund keeps Orvis's fate a secret because, well, that was Orvis's last request. Damn, dude. Sorry I sinned you before. Of course, Orvis's presumed death could have been avoided if he hadn't just buggered off to meet with a fellow scientist.
As the kids say, BRB.
I can't imagine how it would feel to know someone's last words to you were BRB.
Libra, be a good girl and take care of our friend.
I could crack all sorts of jokes about feminism and gender and whether or not Libra should even be a Valkyrie in the first place, but that is a rabbit hole I am not jumping down. One major improvement a Crack in Time has over Tools of Destruction, devices are gone, and the two most popular ones, Mr. Zircon and the Groovatron, return an upgradable weapon form, giving us a reason to use these weapons outside of having a bit of a laugh.
Captain Quark asked me to remind everyone that My Blaster runs hot. Open everywhere this holiday season.
And yet, the My Blaster Runs Hot game is already available. What is this, 2004? Can I just stop for a moment and gush about how beautiful this game is? Just look at this cutscene. Despite some slightly blurry textures, this looks amazing. And when did this game come out? 2009? Jesus Christ, dude. Unfortunately, due to the Elgato only being able to capture 720p at 60 FPS, I can't do this game enough justice, it's so damn beautiful. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but Insomniac, yes, hi, I am available. Even though I unnecessarily point out the flaws and cliches in your games, please, yes, do give me your money.
Quark! This thing's trying to eat me!
I don't know why you gotta wait for Quark's approval, the thing is trying to eat you. Turret section. Why does the frog shotgun need ammo anyway? How does that work? I like to imagine we're feeding it throat lozenges. Spiral of motherfucking death. This gun is second only to the bouncer, and you have no right to argue. The My Blaster Runs Hot gimmick of purposefully overheating your blaster to shoot a larger and more powerful shot at the risk of becoming vulnerable for a few seconds is kinda neato burrito. Discount Eye of the Tiger. Alright, this is just Swing Swing by the All-American Rejects. It's not even Discount Swing Swing. They just remove the vocals, I swear to God. Like, listen to this.
Swing, swing, swing from the table side. My heart is crushed by a former love. Swing, swing, swing from the tangle side. My heart is crushed by a former love.
Hey look, I found the mod that makes my shotgun give enemies Tourette syndrome. Why do they insist on bringing back ledge climbing if it only ever gets used maybe once per game?
I recognize all of this. There's a rock ledge down there we used to hover boot off of. Straight into nothingness.
General,
can we talk about what happened? With my father, the Lombaxes.
Now is not the time for distractions.
And yet you've spent half of this level talking about the past. Don't be a hypocrite, dude.
Even with the Cragmites gone, I knew steps needed to be taken to protect the galaxy. One day, we were approached by an inventor with incredible ideas, technology light years beyond what we were using. The inventor was someone your father warned me not to trust.
Hang on, didn't the Lombaxes raise Tachyon from an egg? They made one mistake not turning him into a gourmet breakfast, but they made another when they completely forgot about the Cragmite that they themselves raised. Does anyone ever use the Plasma Striker? Seriously, raise your hand. Good. Now get out. Turret section. Why can't my hover boots do that? The Tetramites scare the Voltan Ivy by phasing out of existence. The flares do practically nothing in this oddly lit cavern.
Orbis is in trouble. You must go to Xanathar and confront Dr. Nefarious.
Xanathar? Dr. Nefarious hasn't set foot on that rock since his station was completed 2 years ago.
Then that is when you must confront him.
In other words, we're going back in time. You know, the one thing we're not supposed to do.
Can you synthesize a time portal on Xanathar?
I suppose I could use the oscilloscopic entanglement modulator to create a vacuum of negative energy, theoretically creating a traversable wormhole.
Why is Sigmund even able to do this so easily and quickly if it's something they're simply not supposed to do? The consequences of time travel have been spelled out very clearly, and yet everybody seems to want to do it, even those who already know of the Great Clock's true purpose and the risks time travel imposes.
If we succeed, if we turn back time and stop Tachyon, the present as you know it will no longer exist.
If this is my only chance to save my family, I have to take it.
Boy, at the end of Tools of Destruction, you gave up on being with your family so you could be with Clank, so what's different about this situation? Make up your mind, you shithead. Oh, the cryomine glove's pretty useless too, I guess.
Why can Mr. Zircon not shoot little fungoids?
Right back at you, man.
Omni-soaker! That's genius!
Why was the Omni-soaker necessary? You could have just carried the oil over or something.
I'm pulling up a residual image from his database. We scanned it before he dissipated.
Clank?
At least Ratchet threw something at Nefarious here, but it would have been better if he just shot him and killed him, but, you know. Also, Nefarious takes an explosive to the face and receives nothing but a crack and a loose eye. Instead of trying to rescue Orvis, like Clank specifically asked, Ratchet just sits there like a slack-jawed yokel and lets Nefarious do his thing. Oh, but it's okay. Ratchet says, "I'm sorry about your father," later on, so it's fine.
Greetings, young Lombax.
Aphelion takes and accepts video calls by default.
At Rusty Pete's School of Piracy, you can major in any one of our pirate-approved disciplines. Grog brewing, pillaging, mast and bilge maintenance, revenge killing, and knot tying.
You knew a suicide joke was coming, didn't you?
Fool! I told you to leave me. You shouldn't have come back.
You ungrateful shit. Would you rather die or see the Lombaxes again? Clank level.
Oh, it's you. You gave the old ticker a start.
These clock puns are starting to tick me off.
Aha! Here's the culprit. Now what could this thingamajig be doing cluttering your brain?
Subtlety clearly isn't this story's strong suit.
Are you coming?
Plumbers don't just go diving down strange pipes all willy-nilly. That'd be ridiculous.
You know, Charles Martinet is in this game. You could probably just tell him that yourself. Also, hardy har har.
Unlike any father, my only wish is that my...
I'm sorry.
Important dialogue is cut off before the most important part of dialogue is revealed cliché. That's an American power plug, isn't it? Are you telling me space is actually just America? Nefarious attacks are doing way too much damage for this to be an enjoyable 2D fighter. Why does Nefarious's chamber have a doorbell? Unconvincing disguise is unconvincing.
Tonight's top story, new information on the disappearance of Lombax rebel Angela Cross.
I'm sorry, have we confirmed that Angela Cross is in fact a Lombax? I know that was the assumption, but she doesn't have a tail.
Female Lombaxes don't have tails, Kip. In fact, this just in, lots of females do not share the same anatomical traits as their male counterparts.
Oh, I see. Well, hence the set of horns sprouting on that dome of yours.
Nice that they confirm this, but this doesn't change the fact that she's never acknowledged. And, oh, you can just tell they added this to shut up all those annoying fans asking about Angela being a Lombax. You know, like me. Fuck. Mother fucking spiral of carnage! That was a very sudden weather change. Looks nice though. Clank ends up near the base of this structure while falling, but after Ratchet hoverboots down there to catch him, he's suddenly above it. Ratchet and Clank bask in the afterglow of cross-species coitus after almost a year of going dry. From this point, Ratchet is able to make use of Clank's time bombs, except the puzzles they were supposed to be used in were cut and most people will probably never use them in a combat scenario. These wall jump sections are giving me Sonic 06 flashbacks.
Here, it's my most ingenious, foolproof plan yet.
The fact that Quark took all these pictures, then went through the effort to put them into a stereoscopic children's toy makes me question why.
Using the gigamorphic holoray, you'll be able to scan him and create a holographic disguise for Ratchet.
Quark, Nurse Shannon, has been hanging out with Nefarious for a little while now. He could have just scanned him himself. Herself. Don't judge, whatever gender you want to be.
Hey, look on the bright side. At least we're not being squished to death by the pistons.
Trash compactor initiated.
Wow, it's like the trash compactor was password protected by the words, "At least we're not being squished to death." We interrupt this video game to bring you Metal Gear Solid.
Things to do once the clock is under my control. Number 1, double-cross remaining Valkyries and retire Lord Vorsalon.
Seems a little pointless. You have nothing to gain from double-crossing them, and it's unlikely they'd be double-crossing you. And as usual, it's a complete mystery as to where Clank is and what he's feeling. This lift is supposed to be coded into Nefarious' circuitry. Even though Ratchet might be disguised as a pint-sized Nefarious, he doesn't have any so-called circuitry to activate the lift.
That's you fools!
Oh goody, I get to press a button. And they said my intellect would be squandered under your employ.
I know I'm taking off a lot of sins here, but Lawrence hasn't had any love yet. Poor chap. Oh shit, Ratchet can finally jump and shoot while wearing a hologuise. What took so long? Where am I? Where have I been? What day is it? Help me!
One day, the Fungoids saved us.
How could they possibly have saved you? You can't just say they saved you. I need details, damn it!
Bon voyage, my old nemesis!
You're just a lonely man, Lance, boarding a lonely train on its way to Lonely Town.
So help me, it's true. All aboard for Lonely Town. Choo-choo, Janice. Choo-choo.
What is this? It appears that Sony protected us during the crash.
I have nothing of value to add at this point.
There's no time to contact galactic authorities.
Yeah, we'll just go back and forth in time instead. Much quicker than a phone call. Why are there children hanging about near an active war zone? The Fungoids are almost as terrible parents as Goku is to Gohan. This area is pretty much just, hey, have you upgraded all your weapons yet? Here you go, here's a ton of XP. Feel free to die over and over again until you max out every weapon.
What were the chances that would happen?
You tell me, Ratchet, how did you know that planting seeds randomly would cause vines to grow through the time portal? Oh, because you're the protagonist and the plot demands it. Instead of flying the ship around and making it extremely difficult for Ratchet to shoot it down, Argos hangs out in firing range and barely moves. Ratchet still continues using his hoverboots even though he has his portable helicopter friend back, more or less rendering him useless. Also, you can't change from helipack to thruster pack, or, more importantly, the robo-wings.
Shut down the transport and surrender quietly.
I don't know why anyone bothers with this, it never works. Oh no, I, an extremely powerful mad scientist, am having trouble beating this guy. I guess the only solution is to bring in significantly weaker minions. I never understood why bosses do this. The hoverboots are a pretty cool concept, but they're extremely hard to handle in this section. The first time around I plummeted to my death like, I don't know, 10 times.
Ratchet, come on!
Alistair Ex Machina. Also, breathing in space. Oh, the irony.
The Lombaxes need us! Don't walk away from me! I said stop!
On one hand, Ratchet has taken Lord knows how many rockets, explosives, and bullets directly to the face and walked it off with nanotech to spare, so one measly shot from Alistair's Omni-Wrench would seem unlikely to kill Ratchet in a single shot like that. Was it because he only had his base armor equipped? Was it because it hit him square in the chest? I don't know, I ain't no doctor. On the other hand, Holy fuck, Ratchet died! We thought the game was over, and then Alistair does a complete 180 and kills the only other Lombax in existence, citation needed. I'm sure people saw it coming from a mile away, but I thought it was perfectly paced and executed.
Are you kidding me? You think I'd leave my best pal out here alone?
Your father went to great lengths to protect this room from those who would abuse it.
I wouldn't risk any more than 6 minutes.
Clank decides to go against everything Orvis and Sigmund ever taught him about the device that keeps and stabilizes time to rescue his best friend on the random piece of advice a plumber gave him in his subconscious. Wait, if that same shot made that structure explode, shouldn't Ratchet have literally exploded when he got hit by it? Ratchet was right behind Alistair this whole time, and yet here he's nowhere to be seen. Genuinely good boss battle here. Not only is it emotionally driven, but Alistair darts all about the place and is somewhat hard to predict. But you don't take masses upon masses of damage, making this a fair and fun fight. Oh, you know, just sitting here reflecting rockets. You know, you wouldn't have needed to die if you'd just gotten out of the way. Look at that, you had plenty of time to dodge. There's Piccolo when you need him.
He did a brave thing, Ratchet. You should be proud of him.
You sure should. You know, after killing you, trying to kill you again, and almost ripping apart the very fabric of time and space itself.
Perhaps you are ready to be promoted.
Considering Clank's purpose was to look after the clock and Sigmund was just some trash bot on planet Visceron, this is a highly irresponsible decision on Clank's part.
And remember, the universe has a wonderful sense of humor. The trick is learning how to take a joke.
Can you tell that to the people who comment on these videos? I stand corrected. This is absolutely the worst nickname I've ever seen.
Little help here! Ratchet! Clank! Helga!
Quark survives this.
My dear Lombax, I am your father's accountant. Did that do it? Did that sufficiently blow your mind?
Are you serious, my dude? Get the fuck off this planet. The thing I like about the Insomniac Museum is that it kind of gives you some insight into the development process, and why some features may be cut from the full release. Really interesting stuff, and a pretty damn good reward for completing the game, too.
Why?
Oh man, that's satisfying. It's like popping a zit that just keeps coming back. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. If Azimuth is a friend of Caden, then why doesn't he know Ratchet's real name? The quantum reflector is practically useless in combat except for the part where you take out the defenses at Nefarious' space station. Whenever enemy ships fire at you, the reflected energy bullets don't even hit them unless you get lucky. I would honestly take a sin off simply for the existence of the GrumbleNet weapon shorts. While they don't add anything grand to the game, they're just so damn charming that I hope the guy who came up with them got a raise or something. Take away either 30 or 50 cents for the 1812 overture that plays when you use the Rhino 7. Rhino 7 or Rhino 6, honestly don't know. Either way, 30 or 50 cents, fuck off boy, this is my video, you get 1 cent. 1 cent off. On Quantos, and pretty much any planet with time anomalies, why is it that Ratchet and, in that case Quark, is not affected by time anomalies? Sigmund explains why Clank and Sigmund are, they're protectors of time and all that, but it never gets explained why Ratchet isn't. I want to find the person who came up with the Tesla spikes and ask them why they hate everything good and innocent in this world. Alternatively, remove his sin for the Spiral of Death, which is the reason I'm lobbying for marriage between humans and weaponry. Joey DeOria isn't being a retarded ghost butler in this scene. Retarded ghost butler? Am I too fucking old? What the fuck are you talking about? If you let the vibration for the control on during the section in Vapedia where you get Clank back, it starts vibrating so hard if you leave it on the floor it starts moving for seconds on its own sideways really fast. Can confirm, that thing sounds like a fucking dildo in that cutscene. The Master Switch lever in the Orvis chamber is the weirdest design choice in the universe. Don't ever use the clock to time travel, but here's a fuck-off huge lever in the most important part of the clock to literally do just that. Remove his sin for the Rift Inducer's new hentai tentacle monster brother. Tachyon mentions in Tools of Destruction that the only 2 Lombaxes that stayed behind were Ratchet and his father, so what the fuck is Azimuth doing here? Shouldn't Tachyon have known about this rebel Lombax in the Polaris Galaxy before Ratchet? Azimuth should be dead, but I guess Tachyon just overlooked his name in the furry creatures I want to pulverize laundry list. Did you know that the voice actor for Ratchet, James Arnold Taylor, didn't voice anyone in Lost Odyssey? Well, Someone's gonna take one for the team. Hey, Dr. Nefarious gives a huge monologue about his master plan instead of immediately killing them. After you saved Azimuth from Lord Vorsalon, why is he surprised that Ratchet traveled back in time? He was there when Clank told him to go to Xanathar to save Orvis. Azimuth has been around longer than Ratchet has and should have known about the Dimensionator and have already used it, considering he was willing to change all of time for his people. I should think that this sin will be in your next video, or else you can fuck off, mate.
Very well. Then I think it's time our partnership came to an end. Say hello to...
Not the hypersonic brainwave scrambler.
the Hypersonic Brainwave Scrambler!
Not believe your eyes. You can't know you fly.
Okay, so I know I give shoutouts to quite a few of these couch co-op style channels, but there's so many good undiscovered ones, dude, it's just hard not to recommend all of them. This time around I want to bring attention to As I Play Dying, a channel I first discovered almost 2 years ago now through their Strider playthrough, and are still uploading to this day. Also, why the fuck are they only at 213 subs? This is criminal! Highly recommended if you're into that kind of stuff. If you want to check them out, follow the link in the description. Completely forgot to start thanking my Patreon supporters. I know there's only 2 of them right now, and that's kinda sad on my part, but hey, that's fine. I'm just thankful anybody would even consider supporting me by actually giving me money. Like I say in my Patreon bio, whether you do or not is totally up to you. I'm not gonna think more highly of patrons or anything like that. It's just a little tip jar at this stage, and you can choose to stick $1 or $2 in there every month. Anyway, to anybody who chooses to support me on Patreon, thank you so much. You know what you're supposed to do by now. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. I don't care. Fight me. Also, subscribe, comment down below, and submissions for Size Matters sins are open until the next review comes out. Don't forget to tag them with the worst hashtag in existence, #RatchetSins. If you want to support me on Patreon, join my Discord server, or check out As I Play Dying, all the links are in the description. See you guys soon.